Likutei Halochos Hilchos Kriyas Torah Halacha Daled. We're holding by Seif Beis. We established that learning in the Torah, the tefillah, after the tefillah is Mikra Kodesh. It calls the Kodesh. It reveals the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who calls the shots in the world. And we said that kind of gilui, that kind of revelation of the kavod and the malchut of Kadosh Baruch Hu, the fact that Kadosh Baruch Hu is the boss and he's the one who calls the shots, happens especially during Yom Tov. The 3 Yom Tovim during the year, Pesach, Shavuot, because those days are the days of portals, in the Torah that wraps life in this world. And it is during those times that the Kadosh Baruch Hu did unbelievable miracles, and those miracles are the portal. That's the proof that the Kadosh Baruch Hu is the one who runs the show, that there's no nature, that things have to be that way. Things are the way they are because the Kadosh Baruch Hu wants them to be that way. The minute Kadosh Baruch Hu wants it to be different, it's different. It's not a... So this is the... so that's why you have 3 tefillos a day, which correspond to 3 Yom Tovim. They correspond to the 3 Ovis, Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, that established the tefillos. And we said that on every revelation of the Ratzon, which means that the anhaga of this world, the way that this world behaves, is not a set of rules like the rails of a train. That's the way the world runs in. That's the default. But that this is the way Kadosh Baruch Hu wants it. It's a ratzon. It's a willful way that Kadosh Baruch Hu leads the world. Dafka with that way. There is, on the other hand, what the Rebbe calls a chayas ra, is the bad animals, which are the proponents of the theory that the world is nature-driven. There's nature, there's laws, and that's the way it is, and you can't change it, and that's that kaviyachol chas v'chalila. There's no willful anhaga, but just that's the way it is.
Go with the flow.
That's not go with the flow. It's just like it's a set of rules that cannot be changed and cannot. So after the first revelation of the Ratzon, they get up again, because whenever it is you have 2 sides fighting, one side gets up, the other one tries to come back and overcome it. And what they do, so the first is Galos HaRatzon, the first revelation of the Ratzon. What it does is there's a revelation. It prevails, that Emunah prevails. That's that we believe in Emunah. So because before the Chayes Roshman said it's not Shaykh Emunah B'chalal. Okay, so there's Emunah. But then there's a second Gabrus of the Chayes Rosh, and what they do is they put doubt. They no longer say no way, nothing, but they say, maybe not. And that's enough, because doubt
change your mind.
Yeah, it's gematria molek. Doubt is like a worm in an apple. It doesn't. It's inside. From outside, it looks nice, but from inside, it goes this way, goes that way. You don't know which. So they get up again. In order to overcome that, you need to connect the Ratzon to what they call Rotzen sheberetzonos, the will of wills. That's the kesef. This is done with the great tzaddikim. This is what we learned until now. Zeh b'chinas kesef Torah chara tefillah, because it says there's a need to connect to the shorish harotzon, the root, metzach harotzon, rava the ravim. Zeh b'chinas kesef Torah chara tefillah, because tefillah korah megalat harotzon. The tefillah is the first revelation that the world runs according to the way Hashem wants it. Keneged shalosh tefillas, but corresponding to the three tefillas, which is shalosh regolim, mikra kodesh, that reveal the Ratzon. Keneged zeh, opposite that, there are the chayes rois, the bad animals. Shema shalosh chayes rois is the three bad animals, as the tikkunim says. Those are the kitrugel shalosh tefillas. These are the opponents of the three davenings, and which are kelev, chomor, netz. These are mitzad kedusha. You have shor, you have nesher, right? And shor and nesher, adam, and what's the fourth one? And lion. So adam are put aside. So you have three chayes the kedusha. You have shor, nesher, and lion, and arya. In the Merkava, in the chariot, they said the chariot has four sides, and each side has a different face. So the faces, the kedusha is shor, and nesher, and arya, and the opposite them, you have the three chayes, which is kelev, chamor, and netz.
What's the netz?
Netz is hawk.
A hawk, okay.
It's a dog, a donkey, and a hawk. They are the source of all the machshava zoros in the tefillah.
Today everybody has a dog in their house. Huh?
Yes. And it is known and understood from the Rabbeinu that all machshava zoros tefillah that comes from kfiros and apikoros become amunah of every single person. And he says, and even the kosher people, the Elfid a little bit Amuna'am, they don't go in chakiras and philosophies and all that kind. Most of them also have bilbul and Amunah. They also have these confusions of Amunah. And the shtikal apikosis that goes, it gets into the heart. It comes to them because of various foibles that they had during the growing up years. There's chatas no'er, as it's called. And you have to misgabers, you had to have big isgabros and big yeshua and rachamim in order to chase the bilbulim of Amunah from their heart, as the Rebbe says in his Heilige Sichos. It's very easy during the good times to feel that you're all on top of the world and you have this Amunah and everything goes on, but you go, as the process goes, we know it's like a cycle. You go to the cycle where suddenly you feel all alone and you feel in the dark, and then the sfeikas come in. This is where it comes from. Yeah. All this is coming from the sholosh cholosh, the bad animals. This is the kitrug of the three tefillas. It's the voice of the bad animals, that they are the kfiras of Chachmei HaTeva. That's the heresy of the scientists. They cry out, against the crying out of the Yom Tov, which is the voice of the Tefillah. That's the purpose, that's the reason. This is why we lay in the Torah after davening, in order to totally break down and defeat the voice of the cry of the Tzeirim, which is Kol HaChos, the voice of the bad animals, which Chachmei HaTeva is the scientist. Because the Torah itself, it constitutes the Chochmah de Kedusha. That's the source of the Chochmah de Kedusha. It has the ability to connect the simple Ratzon that we have, to connect it all the way to Shorish HaRatzon. Rava de Ravim, Sham Shorish HaTorah. The Torah comes originally from Rava de Ravim. Musham Mitzvah Torah. This is where the Torah comes from, in Shavuos. It came out from Moshe Rabbeinu. That the root of his own neshama is from there, that's why his neshama went, when he was mistalik, neshama went back there, in Rav Ravin. Because Moshe Rabbeinu, he comprises the totality of the Torah. The whole Torah is Moshe Rabbeinu. Zichru Torah is Moshe Avdi. Any Talmid Chacham is a living Sefer Torah. A real Talmid Chacham. A real Talmid Chacham is somebody who has a total honor because the Torah teaches him anova. Somebody who is not a real Talmid Chacham, the Torah teaches him gaiva. Better than you, I learn better than you, and you better get up when I step in the room, and I can show everybody that you ain't did the squat. I'm really hot, and you ain't did the squat. You're nothing. It's me. That's pshat. You're not learning Torah be'iyun, as we learn in the Sichos of Rabbi Yitzchak. That's not pshat of learning Torah be'iyun. Torah be'iyun is that when you're making the Torah, you're finding out what the Torah teaches you, and it becomes part of you. You want to mekayem the Torah. You want to become Torah. A person that learns Torah like this, the Torah teaches him a novice, humbleness. Until he becomes totally bottled to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. I mean, all I can do is what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants. Maharil Diskin was in Yerushalayim in the beginning of the previous century, when he was old and they called the doctor to teach him. So the doctor told him, lift your hands up like this. He says, I can't do it. He says, why can't you do it? He says, because the Zohar HaKadosh says, don't lift your hands above your head, except for davening. Mm-hmm. I can't do it. The Zohar says don't lift your hands. You can't do it. It's like it's not really Baruch HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's not a. So Moshe Rabbeinu is close to Torah. That's the church from Rava de Ravin. That's why the Talmid Chacham is included in Ein Sof, as we learn in Torah Torah Daled. That's why the video in front of Talmid Chacham, you're included in Ein Sof, because Talmid Chacham himself, he's Ein Sof, he's Ein, he's nothing. He's included in the Kodesh Baruch Hu. When you come to him and you tell him all your heart, you are also included in Ein Sof. You are also. That's why the Torah was given in Shavuos, and it says that then Kodesh Baruch Hu, everybody saw him. Kinvelan kezoken. Kodesh Baruch Hu looked to the people like an old sage, an old, as Chazal said, Zoken ze b'chinas metzach harotzen. Zoken is the keser. This feels a keser, it's Zoken, Zakon, it's the same thing. This is metzach harotzen, that's Rava de Ravin, which is revealed through the Zoken de Kedusha. That's why the Rabbeinu is called the Saba de Savim de Kedusha, the grandfathers de Kedusha. Because he's his goddess of Keser Shebe Keser, Yechida Shebe Yechida, the Saba de Kedusha, as it says in the Torah. Nimtza Shah Torah Shosha Mipchinas Rotzen Shabbatzinis. The root of the Torah is the primordial will of the Keser. That's why you laying in the Torah after davening. This was in the Torah Shalachnia Kol HaChoyes Royos, that to defeat the voice of the bad animals. The Chocham de Kedushas, Davka through the Chocham de Kedusha, that connects all the Ritzonos to Shor Sharatzon, also Shabbat Ritzonos. Because the Torah is B'chinas Chocham de Kedusha. The Torah is like the Chocham de Kedusha that connects all the wills to the origin, to the will of wills. It's the Shor of the Torah. And that defeats and brings down the Chos Rosh completely, and the voice of the Tefillah can be heard, which is Yom Tov, which reveals the Ratzin of the Kodesh Baruch Hu. Everything happens the way the Kodesh Baruch Hu wants it. So you see, the Kriyas Torah is Tikkun Tefillah. In other words, learning Torah was already the Gala, the Ratzin of Hashem. But then the Sitracha comes back again, and puts a dot in it. This is it. Kriyas Torah to be mechaber to Rosh Hashanah. That's why you lay in the Torah in the time of davening. That's why you also learn the Torah not less than 3 psukim each person, and 3 people. You know, all corresponding to the 3 tefillos a day, which is Shlosh Regalim, you know, that they reveal the Ratzon. Then this particular Ratzon is ultimately perfected and completed because it's a 2-stage thing. First of all, the tefillah is Megala the Ratzon. That's P'chinas Yom Tevim. Okay, so you know the Or upon him, it shines there. So that puts a Munah down. So, you know, there's the scientists that say the word of the science, and that puts the Munah down, the Munah puts it down. And then they get up again, because the Metzach Halochos, that's the forehead of the serpent, that's the so yeah, but maybe not, you know, it puts the suffix. So you have to come to the second stage of connecting the Ratzon, all the Ratzons to Shosh, the very root of the Ratzon, because what is a suffix? What is a maybe? There's no reason for a maybe. It's just a maybe.
That's where it starts to have.
Yeah, but it all it needs is just chutzpah. Maybe.
You have a brain, you're allowed to think.
No. That the suffix. Where does Amalek come? This Amalek is chutzpah. You already saw because Baruch Hu created the world. Look at this world. The world became by itself. Okay. It doesn't need, you know, proofs, and it doesn't have any proof. It only says, yeah, maybe not. It's just a chutzpah. It's just like that kind of this is called metzach of the Sitra Achra, the brazenness of the Sitra Achra. Maybe. You never know. It's stabs. You never know. The only way to put it down is yes, you always know, which is also beyond the Chochmah. We said it's the akshonos, because I want some. I wanted some. So beyond that, maybe it's not so. It's so because I wanted so. Before it was done al pi Chochmah, the scientists started to prove their case. Torah proves its case. This is like a law. World, the moon, everything. Then comes the chutzpah of the Sitra Achra. Yeah, but maybe. Okay, maybe. Okay, so it's dafka akshonis, dafka no. It's a rotzen shabaratzinus. It's a rotzen that has no reason. Because I want it. Because. That's the shorish of the rachmanis of Kodesh Baruch Hu, the compassion that Kodesh Baruch Hu has to forgive people who don't deserve anything. They don't deserve to be forgiven. So why are you forgiving them? Because I want to. It's a rotzen, which is, because God doesn't need a reason. You know, to find it because of this. I will have rachamnos on whoever it is that I want because I want to. Because I'm the Caesar, I'm the emperor, and I say that's what I want. So above the Metzach of Sitra Achra, you have the Metzach HaRotzim, and this is, but the Torah, it goes to the Torah connects the Retzonos to Shor HaRotzim, so you shouldn't be shaken again by the Metzach of Sitra Achra. Ad kan